So it's no secret that on the 3rd gen Tacoma, there is a lack of storage compartments for all your gear. JD Fabrication has come up with this awesome solution of adding a storage box to the bed of your Tacoma, utilizing a void in your bedside that is otherwise just a waste of space. I'm gonna be turning this into my own little custom onboard air setup. Stay tuned in today's video if you are interested in seeing how to install a bed box just like this one on your Tacoma. What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. If you're new here, my name's Chris. Right behind me, this is the Fortune Taco. And today we're gonna be getting into something that's gonna be pretty interesting. Quite a bit of tools laid out here on the tailgate. And over here on my table of goodies, I have the bed box from JD Fabrication. They're as far as I understand, a pretty small fabrication shop out of California. So there are some Tacomas that come with cubbies here, and I don't remember, so I have a 2021, I think it was a little prior to that. They used to have another cubby over here and then they just went away with it. For some unknown reason, there is a huge gap in between the bedside and the bed here that's just being unused and wasted. So you just have to cut a hole out, bolt it in there, and then you get added storage. You can relocate your main vehicle's battery back here by taking that battery out of the engine bay and moving it back here. You're bringing weight to the back of the truck. And it's also known, I guess with pre-runners and stuff, that the batteries are so heavy and the actual surface you mount it on is very, very weak. So if you're actually pre-running and racing out in the desert, that battery over time will break down. It could actually cause issues, shift around in your engine bay. Or another option they mentioned you could do with it, which is what I'm gonna be planning on doing, is doing a mounted air compressor inside this bed box. So I will have onboard air mounted right in the bed of my truck. So what I'm planning on doing today's video is gonna be just installing and mounting this bed box. I'm gonna do a future video on a follow-up installing the air compressor inside the bed box, so I will officially have onboard air. So the first thing we need to do is taking this bezel, this is gonna be the trim piece that goes around the box and makes it all pretty. We're gonna use this as a stencil. Once you have that lined up, and another thing you have to do, if you have these little covers here for the factory bed light option, you're gonna wanna pop those out from the back portion here of the bed. This needs to be 7/8 away. So we're gonna use a tape measure to measure from here to this edge, 7/8. We're probably gonna move this thing a little bit closer, and then we can put down some tape and start to mark out our lines of where we need to cut. These little light covers, they should pop out fairly easy. It's just a little plastic cap. If you are ready to see me cut into my bed, go ahead, drop a thumbs up on the video right now. And if you were gonna be putting a bed box just like this one on your Tacoma, go ahead and drop a comment down below. I wanna know from you guys, what would you put in this bed box if it was on your truck? Now once I have all the blue tape on there behind this bracket, I'm gonna use a Sharpie and go around the edge, that inside edge of this bracket. All right, so once the cutting is complete, that is just gonna be trash. The next thing that needs to be done is drilling all the holes where all of these bolts are gonna go. So I kind of just held the frame here against the hole in the opening, lined it up. You're gonna have these 4 holes in the bottom. Those have to be drilled out as well. I just didn't have any of these bolts in here because this is where the hinges are gonna attach the door to your bed box. It's probably pretty hard to see up in here, but right where my finger's pointing at, there is a rib in the back side of this bed. And if you don't cut up, you have to go up about 2 inches and make it nice and flush. Well, when you put the bed box in here, it's gonna hit this thing, it's not gonna sit flush. The bolts that are gonna be used to attach this frame to the bedside, they're these brass looking bolts. You're gonna have a quantity of 11 of these because you're gonna have 11 total holes for these to go into. All right, now we have another bag here of brass hardware. This bag is gonna contain 20 bolts, and then there's another bag, I already took all them out. This is gonna be 20 nuts. These nuts and bolts are what is gonna assemble and bring this whole box together. So we need to bolt all the holes where the seams meet up to bring this box together as one. There are 3 additional same size holes in the bottom here. If you are choosing to put a battery in this box, this is gonna be your battery tray that'll get bolted in here. If you're not, like myself, I'm not putting a battery in here, I'm putting an air compressor. I'm not gonna be using this stand here. I'm gonna be mounting my air compressor directly to here, but that's gonna be a custom job. I'm gonna have to drill some more holes in here. And then there's 2 more here at the top, and this is gonna be the catch for the latch of the door system. This is what the latch is gonna hold onto to keep your door locked and secured. We got all the bolts in here attaching all of these insides. See those lovely gold bolts lined up in here. We got the door latch connected. Chris from the future here. So there was one step I missed that I didn't realize until I actually got the bed box put in. So when I had it here, there were multiple bolt holes at the top that I no longer had access to. Once the box is in, you cannot fit your hand behind this fender. These fasteners, I don't know exactly what these are called, but there's 5 of them. We are gonna take these, I'm sure I'm gonna need 2 hands, but they're gonna slip over each one of these. And these have threads in them. They're a slip-on nut. I don't know exactly what these are called, but all of these are gonna slide onto here. And then that is gonna provide threaded nuts for all of these top holes. So once we put the bed box up in this cavity, we're just gonna tighten the bolts from the front and they're gonna thread into all of these. The fun part is gonna be taking this bed box and installing it here because there's obviously no way to put it in this way. We're gonna have to go inside from the ground and we're gonna have to go up in this way. For this portion of the install, JD Fab recommends you use 2 people. 1 person up underneath holding it up, while 1 person is up here bolting it in, and at least just getting it in place. To give us access to be able to do that, we're gonna have to take out a couple 10mm bolts. We're gonna have to loosen up this liner and pull it back a little bit. And then on the inside, there is this diagonal metal brace. That's probably gonna have to get removed, or if we can just take out a couple bolts and kind of pull it out of the way. I think it is metal. So we're gonna have to get that removed to open up some clearance in here so we can fit the bed box right into this cavity and get it up into the bedside. We officially have the bed box itself mounted up in the bedside. To wrap up this installation, we need to get the door put on to the bed box, but there's a couple things we have to assemble here. We have our latch system, which is gonna go right into this hole that it's designed for. And then we have our 2 hinges with all of the hinge hardware. And with the latch, you're gonna want that keyhole on the bottom side. Taking this bracket, there's a threaded hole here. If we put that over top of that and screw it on, that's what's gonna put pressure on the back of the door, pulling this latch in, and that's what keeps it nice and secure. All right, so when it comes to the latches, we're gonna take 2 of the short screws on the bottom outside of the door, screws facing in. We're gonna attach those 2 screws there, 2 nuts on the inside. We have all the hinges tightened. The door is now functioning. What we need to do, I was trying to lock that latch here. It's just not quite wanting to go. The way the latch mechanism works here is this screw presses up on the back of the catch here. So you have an adjustment. See, now that has no play, and that's how you want your door to be. But there's one little final touch we need to add to this to call this a done deal. This weather strip, I think it's just gonna help keep it more snug and you're not gonna have any vibrations. So let's get that weather strip tossed on to the door. Let me know what you guys think. I think the project turned out pretty well. I think it's a very clean look to the bed. You're gaining all of this storage in your bedside that you never had to begin with. If you guys enjoyed today's video, do me a couple favors. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps the video be more successful to get seen by people just like yourself. If you have any questions about the JD Fabrication bed box or just anything for myself or the Fortune Taco, drop a comment down below. I try my best to reply to every comment that is left on my videos. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, or maybe you've seen a couple of them, but you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. You will be able to see anytime I release future content right here on the channel. Also, as a follow-up to this video, if you guys have any interest in seeing my onboard air setup, make sure to check out my next video, which is connected to this installation. It's the second part of adding the onboard air. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end. I appreciate you, and I will see you on my next video.